Welcome to this week's tarot readings. Thank you so much for joining me. A huge appreciation and gratitude to all of you. For anyone new to this channel, to the Moon Magic Tarot Reading channel, welcome. You'll find here an amazing online community of wonderful people. You only have to look at the comments and check in on the way that people connect and support one another to realize what an amazing energy we can collectively bring to an online community. So this week we have three beautiful sets of angel wings guiding us. We have golden wings, pale blue wings and silver wings, each bringing a very unique energy. Now listen to that energy and see which are speaking to you. It might be more than one. For anyone new, I'm now going to draw the cards and the runes as well. We'll be drawing runes. Some people like to sit with me while I draw the cards and the runes. It helps them to tune into whichever of the readings are speaking to them and calling to them. But if you want to fast forward, you'll find in the information box and in the comments for phone users, I'll put the timestamps in there for you. I will also put some other timestamps, some other connections as well for anyone. We have a monthly prize draw here. It's a subscriber offer. If you'd like to be in that monthly prize draw, it is a subscriber offer. Subscribe and join our subscriber email list, and that way you could be in the running to win a signed copy of the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon diary or journal for 2022, or indeed a first signed limited edition of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, or indeed a free private reading. So let's start to draw the cards. We've got some wonderful cards to use, and I'll put the names of the cards as well in the information box and in the comments as well. So if there are any that are really speaking to you, you'll be able to Google and find them for yourselves. We're going to draw runes first. Two runes for each reading. And now we are going to draw from, first of all, a spirit animal guide. And then from, this is the Light Seers Tarot. Then from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. Ooh, wow. Card was flying out there. Now, just in case you guys saw that, or that one, they are really lively today. They're just flying out. Right, okay. Normally in a reading that I was doing, if it was a private reading or for any of the signs, if a card flies, I mean, we just know it's being offered to us. But because this is a set of weekly readings where we're really tuning into our own intuition, it's really important that we don't see the cards as they fly out. Just one from this pack. Okay, and now I'm going to draw from two different angel packs. And then a lovely little pack here. Okay, so wonderful friends, we have here reading 1, 2 and 3. You may already know which reading or readings are speaking to you, in which case click on the timestamps and fast forward. If you're not sure, just press the pause button for a moment and just really sit and listen to yourself. Allow your intuition and your higher guidance, your higher self, to draw you to whichever reading is right for you today. I know sometimes people come back later in the week and have another look, actually, if they feel they're needing additional guidance and that another reading may be speaking to them. You can always bookmark the page if you want to as well, if you think you might want to return at a later time. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. I will see you in the readings. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's have a look at our runes first of all. We have the rune of the self and we have the rune of Berkana, growth. Okay, this is a powerful time, and this suggests a powerful time of new beginnings. The rune of growth is sort of terminations and new beginnings. For me, it's a bit like the card of the world in the major arcana in the tarot, and so there's something about, something is opening up for you. The rune of the self, it's like the rune of joy. If you were to take the rune of joy, which is like a sort of a P shape, and you were to split it down the middle and open it up, you get the rune of the self. There is something emerging, some opportunity for you is what I'm being shown, I think, here. It's an opportunity for a new phase and a new beginning. Lots of renewed energy and vitality around you, actually. That's the sort of, there's quite an electric kind of tingling around. Let's see what our cards are showing us. So Cougar, assertive. In silence you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. Wow, this really feels like something is really significantly opening up for you. We have, gosh, we've got lots of cards here. Let's see where we are first. So first of all, we have the Seven of Wands, Knight of Swords, and Queen of Pentacles. We then have the card of giving and receiving and Angels of the Universe. And then we have these lovely, lovely visualize abundance in all forms, donations, tithing and charitable work, and declutter. Okay, I'm going to bring these in here. I think that's a good laying out of the cards we have here. Can we? No, we can't see everything. Let me move everything. Oops, let me move some of these things over because we're going to need for you guys really to be able to see. I'm going to move the runes down here and the cards upwards so that we can see everything in view for you. I think that should bring everything into your vision. I'm just glancing across at the screen that the camera is showing, so that's good. Okay, so this is really, there's a very powerful energy here speaking to me. I feel like something you have been manifesting, something that's coming into fruition. You're needing to really go for it. What I'm also seeing is, it's really interesting, this beautiful bubble of energy around you. If we look at the imagery on this card, Seven of Wands, it's kind of like, you know, I think when you step into a position of your own power and your own empowerment, when you take an ownership of your own pathway, you know, there's always going to be somebody kind of, I don't know, I won't say waiting to jump on the bandwagon, but someone to kind of give you a poke or a prod. I feel like there's been some, gosh, I'm trying to think of the right language for this, but you know, guys, when something comes into our world and it can be, sometimes it can even feel a bit challenging. It's like someone presses our buttons in some way or gives us a poke or a prod. I want to almost say a poke and a prod to push us forwards can come in many different shapes and forms, okay? I feel like for some of you there's been some quite big triggers around you, and you're needing to hold on to your own bubble of energy. You know, what I'm really seeing is you're getting used to this. You're beginning to really stand in your own power. So the cougar, assertive. In silence, you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. I think what I'm seeing is almost a little trail of past, recent past as well, events where it's almost like you've been pushed along pushed into a greater sense of clarity, I think, actually, a greater sense of knowing your own direction. Some of those pushes and prods have been those aha, amazing moments. I mean, this is the work of the self. And some of them have come almost through situations where you've experienced something and you've kind of thought, you know, I don't want that, or I'm going to align myself with a different energy. And yeah, the rune of Berkana, growth, terminations and new beginnings. You're really entering a phase of profound potential abundance here. You know, Queen of Pentacles, it's kind of like, you know, I want to say revel in your own glory. I don't mean in an ego way. I mean in a genuinely personal kind of abundant, successful way. It's kind of like, you know, when you get to that point where you've worked at something and it comes to fruition, and you know you don't need external validation anymore. That's the real key here. You don't need external validation. You don't need someone to say you need to do it this way or that way. And if they do, there's almost a part of you saying, do you know, no, I'll define my own pathway, thank you. There's a real sense of independence here, but in a very healthy, assertive, empowered way. It's not independence in a sense of not working or collaborating with others, far from it. But actually what I am seeing is there is a real sense of actually taking an ownership of your own power and your own empowerment. You know, visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings, and that is what you will experience. Hold your own bubble of energy because you know where you want to go. I think you've got a really clear vision of where you want to be, and it's come through a mixture of both openings, of like insights and seeing, gosh, yeah, I'd love that, I want that, and also some difficult things as well. Some of which have also helped to define what you want and where you want to go. So this is a new phase of growth where keep your eyes on your targeted kind of intentions. Now, we've just had a fabulously intense, transformative new moon. For those of you who you know are tuned into the making of new moon wishes, I put quite a big post on my Facebook page where we kind of tune into this kind of stuff. I post daily about sort of the overall flavour of the lunar energy. I'll put a link to the Facebook page in my in the information box and comments for you guys as well. And actually, guys, for any of you who joined me yesterday in the first of the Manifest with the Moon workshops, thank you guys. What great fun we had. It was a really fabulous time. Anyone who missed that, I'll put the link in because the recording will be up on YouTube until the end of the year. So do tune into that, and we have another webinar coming up at the end of this month as well. So, you know, lots and lots of energy around manifestation at the moment. Keep your eyes on your targeted intention. Now, there's also something about giving and receiving and being in balance with this, okay? So give and take is different to giving and receiving. You know, when we take something, taking and receiving are not the same. When we take, whoever we take from may or may not have chosen to give. However, when we receive, choice and respect are an integral part of the exchange. Let go of any need to take and embrace the harmony of giving and receiving. Now, this is a really interesting card with donations, tithing and charitable work. Give joyfully to the organisations and people who spiritually support and inspire you. And know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money or other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. This for me is speaking about the balance of giving and receiving. It's quite interesting. You know, for me, you know, this is part of my giving, you know, and, you know, I am so rewarded for me in, you know, reading your comments, knowing when people, you know, write to me or tell me that actually, you know, these readings have really helped them. I've had such moving emails. I mean, it's been extraordinary. It's just a wonderful, wonderful energy when we put into the world. But be thoughtful about where you give and how much you give. Make sure you also allow yourself to receive as well. For some of you, I think, and I know I can fall into this, it's very easy to give because giving feels wonderful, but I need to be respectful of making sure I have time and allow myself to receive as well. This is the balance of the self here as well. This is a time of both here. You're moving into a space where I feel that energy of giving and receiving falls into a space of balance, where there's a true recognition of, literally, again, it's working with the laws of attraction and knowing how giving and receiving really works. Now, very interesting, we have this Angels of the Universe card and also the card of declutter. So there's something about keeping your own energy clean while you are actually, while you are in this process of manifestation. This card, Angels of the Universe, along with declutter, is really interesting because I think these cards bring almost like a deeper layer of understanding to this reading. On the one hand, we are really being, there's an affirmation here, which is, you know, you're learning to maintain your own balance, to walk your own pathway. This reading is such an affirmation of in a way, to say that you're on track. What you're doing is right. This new phase of new beginnings is coming. You're falling into a space where that balance of giving and receiving is right. The declutter and the Angels of the Universe sort of suggest as well, though, that there are still moments of where there's a little bit of self-doubt or a questioning. Is my idea the right idea? Am I actually on track? You know, so there are still moments where I think there's sometimes some confusion. It's like some of you kind of know where you're going, but there are these moments of self-doubt. Now, the Angels of the Universe really speaks about your calling and the fact that you've made many, many journeys of the soul before. You've had many past lives and you are moving in a particular direction and there is support and guidance around you. Now, there's an affirmation that comes with this card, which I'm going to read to you. The affirmation is, I gratefully accept the assistance from the Angels of the Universe. I know that I am here for a reason and that they will help me to find my purpose. Okay, declutter. You'll feel better and more focused if you take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. You're really embarking, I think, or that's the energy that I'm seeing here on it's almost as though you really are entering a new phase where you are fully aligning with your purpose. Now, it may not be 100% clear, or you may think you know, but you're not quite sure, or you have the odd wobble, or you really do know, but that moment, those moments of self-doubt, or indeed other people's opinions filter in too. Now, keeping your own energy clean, keeping your space free and decluttered, it makes such a difference. If you find you're having a wobble, you know, have a day of spring cleaning or an hour or two of spring cleaning, whatever your kind of schedule allows. And again, make space within your schedule. Make sure, if you can, that you diary in some spaces in your schedule so that you can realign and get grounded. This is a rune, the rune of growth is a fruit-bearing rune. It's a rune of promise, it's a rune of opportunity, it's a rune of a really big, significant new phase of growth. So for me, this reading is really wanting to encourage, ask you to persevere, giving you, asking you to be assertive, to stand in your own power. You don't have to distribute power. You know, it's not about being powerful over others. It's about being powerful and owning your own centered power and knowing that your pathway is yours and you don't have to be affected by others. You don't have to be guided or allow your outcomes and your goals and your dreams to be defined by the expectations of others. Balance yourself into a space of giving and receiving. That does include receiving, please. Really, really coming through here. And keep your own energy and your own space, the space around you. Make sure there is space for you to remain centered, because this is very much a new phase where I think you're very much aligning with your calling, actually, and your purpose. And as I said, if you're not actually sure what that is, there is help and support around you. We need to be still enough to receive that guidance. This is such a reading of affirmation and empowerment. It's absolutely beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Do check out those webinars if you're interested in manifestation, and you're interested in manifesting with the moon. The links are below. The one that hasn't yet run, there's a recording there in the information box below. And actually, for those of you who want to tune into the next one that's live, if you click on the link, you can bookmark the page so that you've got that ready. And if you're on any of my email lists, I will email out a couple of days before just to let you know and give you a reminder. Wonderful, wonderful friends. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. Let's have a look at our runes. We have the rune of Gateway, and we have the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. Very powerful runes. Now, the rune of Gateway is asking you to review something. When we get the rune of Gateway, it's suggesting that now is a really good time to pause and to evaluate and to look back at everything that's led you to where you are today. And then to lean into, I always think, leaning into a space of gratitude for everything, the good stuff and the difficult stuff that's actually helped us to kind of develop our values and become the person we are today. And then in that space of gratitude, we step through the gateway. With the rune of the warrior, the rune of the warrior speaks of discernment, cutting away the old, letting go of some stuff that's no longer relevant. So it would suggest in this combination that there's something you may need to release or let go of, or, through evaluation, through a conscious process of, evaluation and discernment. Move the wings up here and we'll look at our cards. So Lynx, Keeper of Secrets. Oh, this is a really interesting card. Lynx energy is fascinating. Lynx is the keeper of secrets, not necessarily the sharer of secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see others' secrets and you keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. There's definitely a review going on around you in some way, shape or form. We have the card of Strength. We have the Six of Swords. Let's move these wings up here, make sure we have enough room for everything. Very interesting because the colour blue connecting in with blue calcite, which is a stone that centers us, grounds us, lowers anxiety, gets us still. We also have the Three of Wands. So we've got Strength, Six of Swords, Three of Wands. You are moving on from something. You're moving away. Don't wobble. And the Angel of Adventure. Okay, this is definitely about you moving forwards and letting go of something. Words of abundance. Block out distractions and do the work. Ooh, this is really powerful. It's time for you to release. This reading is suggesting releasing something, moving forwards in some way, but really understanding. Yeah, it's like moving forwards because you have an understanding. You see people. You're in a space, I think, of profound awareness where you see something very, very clearly. There's the opportunity to see something very clearly. Now, something's also maybe been holding you back, or there's been a little bit of anxiety around trying something out or moving into the world in some way. So we read these cards first. You have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerfully positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economic situation in loving and optimistic terms, and that is the way you attract for yourself and others. Now I actually think, I'm being really real about this, I actually think that's sometimes easier said than done. I'm very conscious these days that I think we, especially in our current world, there's a lot of challenge around us. We, you know, as a global humanity, you know, as well as individually, we've been facing some really big challenges. And as we evaluate, again, the rune of Gateway, I think what we want sometimes, or what we desire, and the changes we wish to see, you know, we formulate them on the basis of the things that, not just the things that have opened up for us, but also the things that aren't right. So if we see something that's not right, let's say in our personal world, for example, that helps us to define what we do want. But it's very easy in our language to focus on what isn't right. You know, and I think it's a really good exercise that we can do. In fact, I'll probably be talking about this, I would imagine, in the next Manifest with the Moon webinar. For those of you that joined me for yesterday's, thank you so much. And if you missed yesterday's webinar, the Manifest with the Moon webinar, you know, the recording is live, and I will put the links in the information box and comments as well for you to watch if you wish to. But you know, it's the next one we're going to be talking particularly, I'm going to be focusing on the new moon and the full moon, the energy of the new moon and full moon, and I'll touch base on the 13 tribal moons as well, I hope, if we have time. But the new moon, when we set wishes and intentions, and we've just had a new moon this week, one of the ways that we define in manifestation what we want is by seeing what we don't want. But we need to shift our language rather than thinking, oh, I don't want that, you know, because the universe just hears the that, it doesn't hear the don't want bit. So we can sometimes in our language be manifesting the thing that we don't want rather than the thing that we do. So it's kind of like we need to look at something. Sometimes we can write it on a bit of paper, write down what we don't want, and then write a list, write what the opposite would be in the way that we word it. And it means we shift our language into a really positive space. I mean, it's a really good exercise to do in advance of the new moon. So we're shifting away from what we don't want into alignment with what we do, just within the language that we hold in our mind and in our everyday conversations. We then have the card block out distractions. Your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention. So it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know what these distractions are, and you have the power to responsibly block them out. Cutting away the old, you're leaving something behind. Six of Swords, moving away from something, cutting some cords, noticing what isn't right for you and choosing to let go of it. Do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you're being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Three of Wands, again, full of possibility, looking ahead, knowing that those possibilities are very, very real, being in a space of possibility. Very interesting. Now, these two cards don't wobble Angel of Adventure. I feel they are giving us a real underlying layer of additional information here. If we think about Lynx, the keeper of secrets, I think you're in a position where you have a really, really insightful view of what's going on around you and the way that other people operate and are behaving, and in certain situations. I think you have quite a lot of, well, more insight and clarity than many of the people around you, perhaps. That's what I'm really seeing. And in a way, that's making in one way, that's a really, really amazing place to be, but in other ways, it can be quite challenging when we see things with real clarity. You're asked just to be that observer and to sit within yourself in order to make very clear decisions. There's something in your pathway at the moment that is, it's like you're at a turning point in some way. Now, the cards Don't Wobble and the Angel of Adventure, it's like there's something that you need to do to maybe step out of your comfort zone, and yet something has been holding you back. The card of Don't Wobble says, are you having a wobble? Whether a minor one or a major one, this is completely understandable. You are facing tough choices, but deep inside yourself, you know what you need to do. This card is here to validate your deeper knowing and the decisions that you are making. As you move forwards, your anxiety will ease and you will refine your balance. I'm seeing a really pivotal turning point here, and it's almost like you're finding your strength within your vulnerability, learning to shift away from the things in the world. I also want to say I feel like you're very sensitive at the moment to kind of almost the energetics of the global situation that humanity is in. And because you're very sensitive, it's really important to not allow that energy or the worry about those things to stop you from holding your own pathway of manifestation, holding your own vision, and also to sort of put you into a place where you're so serious, you don't play and you don't have fun. The Angel of Adventure is saying that, you know, don't forget you were born here to be happy, to enjoy yourself. If something doesn't make you happy, then actually it's time to let it go and move beyond it. You don't have to criticize or try to change or any of those things that we get into, including being critical of yourself, but just become an observer of that experience and shift into that space of positivity in your language. Block out anything that is not really working for you. If something isn't working for you anymore, doesn't mean you won't necessarily go back to it at a later date if you want to, but there's something about blocking out things and letting go of things that if there's something in your world, anything in your world that doesn't feel good, then start to kind of work out how you're going to navigate that rather than trying to sort of do battle with it. You know, work out, it's like kind of working out how to be playful, how to laugh at that situation, and then how to counterbalance it by giving yourself something that really does have the feel-good factor. Now, these cards come with an affirmation, so I'm just going to read that affirmation to you. Here we go. Angel of Adventure. Affirmation: I am completely protected and safe. It is time to put the adventure and fun back into my life. I acknowledge my Angel of Adventure will guide and encourage me along my journey of life. There's something about really stepping into a place where you can have fun. I feel as well there have been people maybe around you whose circumstances are quite difficult, but there's also something about them. Some of you, I think, maybe have also been lent on quite heavily. People have used you as a prop. They've used you as their pillar of strength. And that's eroded you a little bit, I think. It's eroded your energy, and there's a need to bring that back into balance. You know, it's not enough to dream or pray. You've got to take the positive action steps that you're being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Doing the work, it's like there's something about bringing your focus back and your attention back to yourself, actually. And the most beautiful butterfly has just flown past my window. It's such a symbol of transformation. And, you know, it's like you need to come out of that chrysalis state and allow it does mean letting something go. Some people maybe have been leaning too heavily on you in some way, and stuff has been going on that's caused you to be focusing through the lens of something negative. That's very real because it's helped you to understand something better, but it is that shifting away from the negative into a space of real positivity and holding that and bringing the laughter and the fun back into your world. It's like literally embrace opportunities. You can be conscious and aware of others. I think you have a heightened awareness, some of you, of what's going on around you, but you don't have to buy into it. You can step away and hold your own pathway, regardless of what you choose to do in support of anyone else. This is a real encouragement for you to have fun, get out there, find your sense of adventure, and literally hold that positive mindset and keep that positive language around you. There's definitely some letting stuff go. That could also, for some of you, be some of those inner thinking patterns that hold us back. It is hard though, I think. For those of you that know me, you'll know I worked as a counsellor, a psychotherapist for 28 years. I've always read tarot cards, but I used to just really do it personally for myself and friends. And now I obviously do lots of stuff in the world in a different way. But you know, I remember talking to a student once, and she'd been to a family event. Obviously, when you train as a counsellor, for those of you who are involved in that level of work, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's all about our own self-awareness primarily, you know, before we can sit and guide and support and walk with others. And just remember this student saying she'd been to a big family party, and she just said, you know, in a way, she said, ignorance was bliss. I didn't see people and the way the family dynamics operated before. You know, I was just blissfully ignorant of it, and now I've got this heightened level of awareness, and actually it's quite challenging because I can see all this stuff at play, and in one way it's incredibly empowering. In another way, it's when we have that level of empowerment, it can be harder to navigate. But you know, it's part of that journey of self-awareness. It's part of the evolution of our soul's growth. And we do, when we're in that space of learning, have to work out how to hold the awareness and still find our own inner strength, not to feel pulled back into it, be able to become an observer and yet hold our own strength, to know that we're not here to influence the pathways of others. We are here to embrace our own, and not to let the energy of others' circumstances kind of bring us down. This is very much about this reading is asking you to focus on you and prioritize you. Actually, you know, don't wobble. Find that laughter, find that fun. Anything that doesn't have the feel-good factor, choose how you navigate it and choose not to embrace it. I think if you can help that, and if you know, and embrace the opposite. Look at what the opposite would be for you. Wonderful friends, tons and tons of love to you. I look forward to hopefully seeing you for the next Manifest with the Moon workshop. The links to that and the recording of yesterday's are in the information box and comments. And if you want an email reminder, do join one of my email lists. There's a link below if you want to be in the monthly prize draw, actually, and potentially win a diary, the Art of Manifestation diary, or journal, or cards, or a free private reading. If you join the subscriber email list, you'll not only get potentially be in the draw, but you'll also get to I'll email just a few days before that next webinar is due to give you a little reminder. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the rune of signs. This is signs, signals, synchronicities. So be very conscious of what's going on around you. Look beneath the surface as well. Don't take anything on face value. Now this is the rune of protection, and it's in reverse. Now that's really interesting because the rune of protection suggests that we're needing to be very conscious of taking right action. Now in reverse, that's a kind of fascinating position. I'm going to see what the cards suggest before really bringing an interpretation into this. You know, it may be that some signs and signals are eluding you, or you're seeing something and you're not quite recognizing it for what it is. Let's see what we're shown. Dragon, supernatural, you are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Let's move those angel wings up here. We have the card of Temperance. We have the card of Death and Rebirth. The Eight of Wands. Walk your talk. Angel of Unity. Ask for your needs to be met. Moonlighting. Release resentments about money. This is really interesting. Okay. Walk your talk. Become what you believe. Are your thoughts, words and actions in alignment with your core inner values? This card asks you to walk your talk, become your own personal hero or heroine, and step into the very best version of yourself, radiating authenticity in the world. Angel of Unity. There's something about holding unity, coming into alignment with something that is, I don't know, I almost want to say birthing something into the world, maybe. Because we have the card of Moonlighting. Moonlighting is about a shift in career. It says you can start working on your dream career part-time while keeping your other job to pay the bills. Soon your dream career will take flight and fully support you. Release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool that you can use better to better the world, and this shift will help you to attract support and golden opportunities. Yeah, this is really interesting. You're balancing something here. Again, asking for your needs to be met. God and the angels will come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped, and it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. I feel like, guys, this is I think this for me is like a career pathway focus. You know, it's like you're on the verge of something. There's something you really want to do. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. I feel like there is something that you really want to do career-wise that will align you with your own pathway of happiness within, you know, your ability to manifest money, to manifest the practical stuff of life that we all need. And you're literally on the verge of that project, that idea, and yet there's an anxiety around it, and also a little bit of anxiety about you know, being allowed to take an ownership of real abundance, real success. You know, sometimes we can be brought up in a world that feels like to really embrace success in a big way. It's like allowing ourselves to really do well. It's almost as though, you know, there's still sometimes in us that little residue that says, do you know, real success and abundance, I wouldn't be walking a spiritual pathway. It's not okay for me to have a lot. Do you know, the more you have, the more you can share, the more you can do, the more you can give, the more altruistic you can be, you know. So this is really asking you to embrace success and to sort of trust that it will come to you. I think you're literally on the verge of doing something that could open up a really fruitful and thriving quality of working life. It feels very career calling orientated, this reading. It's like literally bringing something into the world that will help to unite people, help to bring people together, help to bring a message into the world, help unity. Signs, signals, synchronicities. Now we're going to do some energy shifting in this reading, because there's something in you that's fearful or having a little bit of an anxiety or a wobble around it, or not quite having that sense of belief, whether it's about your right and entitlement to own real abundance and success. It's kind of like you want it, but you don't quite believe it can happen, or you don't quite feel for some of you it could be, you know, yeah, it's resentments or feeling that the money system isn't good and you don't want to buy into it. It's that kind of, I know it's the saying for the lottery, you have to be in it to win it. I have an amazing friend. I will voice this because it's really coming through. I find her very, very inspirational. You know, she worked for a very long time in the corporate world and worked her way up, and it was a very masculine dominated world, but she really held true to her feminine principles, and in the end I think was really, really rewarded for what she brought into that environment. And I remember her saying at one point it felt like a real struggle, but she also said, I want to make my best contribution and I feel like my calling is to really make a difference in this world and to really bring the human elements into a world that was, you know, a bit devoid at that time in the organisation she worked for of the real human touch. And she kind of persevered. I remember doing a reading for her about this, and it was really saying persevere, hold that pathway. I'm kind of voicing it because she sort of said, I feel like I have to be in it to win it. You know, I could either depart from this environment and just think it's not for me because I feel like a fish out of water or a square peg in a round hole. Alternatively, I could stay. I've got to be in it to win it. I've got to be in it to influence it in order to, but remain my authentic self and trust that the environment will begin to navigate around me. And she's incredibly successful. She walked her talk. There's something about taking an ownership of that personal pathway. Your best contribution may involve, you know, the moonlighting card. It's really telling me there's something about your career. You may need to be investing in something. For some of you, it might also be stepping away from a day job and really launching yourself into the career pathway of your dreams. It's like that, writing that book, designing that, I don't know, whatever it is, that creative project, following that pathway, you know, going back to university, doing, or going to college, doing something that is going to, you know, is creating the space for you to do that alongside your day job, and trusting that actually the rewards will come to you. But this feels so career orientated, but as if you are in this space of rebirth and opportunity, a place where your dreams and visions can be ignited. At the moment you're weighing something up, you're trying to balance something, and it may also be that for some of you that there's a feeling that your needs can't be met. This card is really saying ask. You know, when we work with kind of angel energy, and I've been told this for many, many years by people who, long before I think I really started to align and attune with this energy in such a bigger way, we have to ask. You know, and something I've really learned, again, from some very, very wise people is, you know, sometimes we tend to only ask when something is going wrong. It's almost like we sort of, you know, we hit a crisis point and therefore we reach out and we pray and we ask for support and help. Actually, how about asking for support and help for something we do want, rather than just to fix something that's not working for us? You know, it's like giving ourselves permission to do that. Actually, this is what I would like. You know, could I have some help to further this? Not waiting for the crisis point and feeling like we can only ask because things are going wrong. We can ask because things are going right and we want them to be even better. There's something about embracing this, shifting the energy around here. Now, the rune of protection, it's really interesting because it speaks of control of emotions, managing our emotions. I'm curious about it being in reverse. What I feel is you're not, let's say you're not, I think maybe it's like listening to your emotions as signs. And that's the energy we're going to shift here, because the rune of signs, signals, synchronicities in the upright position would suggest that actually doorways are being opened for you and clues are being given. Sometimes they come in the form of emotions. It's like we feel something, but we have to allow ourselves to listen to that emotion. I mean, you know, I have a big online library for those of you that know my work. It's called the A to Z of Emotional Health. www.azemotionalhealth.com. I'm just bringing that onto the screen for you guys for a minute. It's full of resources. It's a membership site. It's completely free and always will be. It was my kind of parting gift to my psychotherapy and counselling profession. You know, I wanted to put information in the world that would help people to navigate their emotions with awareness and understand their emotions as a source of empowerment. Let me remove that so we can continue with our reading. I think this needs to be uprighted. We're going to move into a space where we do a little bit of energy shifting here. Understanding emotions as a source of empowerment, not allowing something to hold us back in some way. It's very interesting. Going back to Supernatural Dragon, you are the ancient wise sage. You can shape shift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Weigh things up here. Listen to your emotions. If you have more than one career pathway in front of you, listen to the one that makes your heart sing. And if it's not immediately available to you, then don't sort of then assume that it can't be. If there are some more challenging emotions, don't let that get you down. Just allow yourself to begin to invest in it little by little. And release any aspect of not being able to have. If there's any emotional residue that says you can't have, you've got to be in it to win it. For you to make your best contribution, we need, I think all of us, to embrace the idea that abundance, so that abundance isn't just about money. It's about quality of life in every way. And the happier and the more free-flowing we are in ourselves, the more we have to give. Resources, whether if we think of money as a resource and an energy, an energetic currency, it can actually do a lot of good if we choose to be altruistic with it. So the more we have, the more we can give. So let's shift this energy. So sit with the reading as it stands at the moment. Okay, just sit with this, lean into whatever the transformation is that you would like to make, whatever that inspiration is, that desire. And remember, you have the knowledge and awareness to do this. Now, I have a beautiful little angel here. It's a tiny little talisman angel. It's a golden quartz angel. So I'm going to bring this golden quartz angel here and sit it under the signs, synchronicities rune here, helping us to listen to the signs, to trust and believe. I'm then going to bring in a citrine crystal point. Citrine is a stone of abundance, and we're going to shift this into an upright position. In fact, we're actually going to surround the runes with citrine crystal points. Beautiful energy, lovely energy. It's going to help. It's like holding that positivity of emotion, recognizing that, of course, you know, emotions are a part of manifestation, because it's not just about thinking about something. If we just think about something, it's just a concept. What we actually have to do is invest in it emotionally as well. So therefore we need to release any kind of resentments. This is a very, very powerful shift forwards. I'm going to read the affirmation that comes with the Angel of Unity card as well. Just find that in this book. Here we go, Angel of Unity. Now is a time for unity throughout the world. My Angel of Unity and I will be a guiding light for like-minded souls to unite. There's something about really owning your own power. It is that being in it to win it, allowing yourself to embrace fully every possible aspect of abundance so that you can then lovingly support and guide others. You can become a beacon of light for others. And yeah, it feels very career orientated. You can shape shift, you can embrace a new pathway in whatever way, shape or form you wish. You have the right to have your needs met. You can start working on any aspects or projects that you want to birth into the world. Trust your guidance, trust that inspiration. Release resentments about money, embrace your abundance, walk your talk. You have something really beautiful to bring into the world that will assist and help others in a way that will help to benefit humanity at large. You know, there's so much struggle at the moment. Unity is what we need to embrace as we move into a new age. I feel like you guys have a really significant role to play. It's part of your calling. So, you know, way to go is what I want to say. Way to go. Wonderful friends, tons and tons of love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already checked out the Art of Manifestation, Manifesting with the Moon webinars, we had one amazing webinar yesterday and we have another one later in November. The one yesterday was recorded and the recording is still live and will be till the end of the year. I'll put the links in the information box below. And if you want to check out the next one, you might want to and attend live then and join us for the live recording and the live webinar. Do open the page and bookmark it. And if you're on any of my email lists, I will actually email out a few days before with a reminder. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste.